I'm a speech language pathologist who retired about a year ago, and I live in a small country town in New South Wales. And one of the things I wanted to do was to run a clinic which was primarily staffed by students that would provide intensive therapy for people who lived in the town. I see our role as being one of being able to provide a service for the community that otherwise they wouldn't get. I take students from Melbourne University for a month, and there are 8 of them. They come and they stay in the town for a month, staying in the nurses' home or in a house that we rent for them. They're funded primarily by the university. So they were second-year master's students who are almost completed. And the university actually selects students who are not only keen to come, but who they also judge to be capable of making the most of the placement. Before the students come, I go and visit various places in town to set up the student placements. Last year we had sites in the nursing home, in 2 of the primary schools, in 1 high school and in a childcare centre. I negotiate that each of those places would take 2 students, and the students would be there full time. I also go to Melbourne to talk to the students, where I explain to them that what will happen is that they will be allocated a site which they can negotiate with their clinical director, and they will be given a list of possible clients that they will have to manage. Every student will be observed every day in the first 2 weeks of the placement, and for longer periods, but only every second day for the last 2 weeks. We also have 1 day a week when the students meet with me to discuss issues. They can also make an appointment with me at any time. They can also Skype their teachers in Melbourne if they need to. Even though I'm not there, of course, because I'm moving around from one clinic to another, there is always somebody on site that they can go to if there's any problem, because there's always teachers or nurses or preschool teachers who are available for any problem. The students have a fairly interesting time if they're willing to take the initiative and to make the most of the opportunity that's offered, because they can work independently, they work in pairs so that they get some support. They have a lot of tutorial support. They find that they learn a great deal about what it's like to be a working therapist in that type of clinical placement. There have been some students who haven't been particularly strong in terms of their skills, but nevertheless they have been very willing to learn. And I think that even though they're harder work for me, that they can still work out to be very successful in the placement. The difficulty would arise if you had a student who wasn't prepared to put in the hard work, who wasn't prepared to be guided by the clinical supervisor, who lacked clinical initiative to actually take on the management role that they have. That would be very difficult. The disadvantages are that some students find it quite difficult to make the most of the opportunity. They find being in a town for a month, which is fairly small, rather challenging. They might not be used to sharing accommodation. The community actually has been very good in the sense that what they do is they put on a dinner. They actually set up meetings with other students who are on clinical placement. They actually get to mix with other allied health and nursing staff. And so that gives them sort of a social base outside the actual group of students that they're with. They do nearly always come with cars between them so that they can get away for the weekend if they need to. They do work very hard, and they complain a bit about the fact that they have to work as hard as they do. But nevertheless, most of them are very positive in terms of the amount they learn in the placement.